the woman with the issue of blood, the touch that changed everything. Imagine living for 12 years with an illness that sapped your strength, your resources, and your hope. A woman in the Bible went through exactly that. She suffered from a continual issue of blood, a condition that, according to Jewish law at the time, made her impure, isolating her from society, her family, and even from temple worship. Her life was one of pain, loneliness, and despair. But one day, everything changed. In this video, we will delve deep into this moving story of faith and miracles, suffering and hope. This woman, whose name is not mentioned in Scripture, had already sought help by every means possible. Mark 5 verse 26 tells us that she spent everything she had on doctors, but instead of getting better, her condition worsened. Physical suffering was only part of her pain. Emotionally, she carried the weight of rejection and isolation. Even in the face of so many difficulties, something in her remained intact: hope. When she heard about Jesus, a man who healed the sick, freed the oppressed, and taught with authority, her heart was filled with faith. She knew this was her only chance to change her life forever. The journey to Jesus. She could not approach people openly. Her condition made her ceremonially unclean, and anyone who touched her would become unclean as well. But her faith was greater than any obstacle. In the midst of a crowd that pressed in on Jesus from all sides, she made a bold decision. If she could just touch his garment, she would be healed. Courageously, she mingled with the people, moving forward carefully. Each step was a risk, but also a declaration of faith. When she finally got close enough, she reached out with a trembling hand and touched the hem of Jesus' robe. The miracle happens. In that instant, something extraordinary happened. The flow of blood stopped. For the first time in 12 years, her body was free of a disease. She felt within herself that she had been healed. But something even more amazing happened. Jesus stopped and asked the crowd, "Who touched me?" His disciples were confused. After all, everyone was touching him. But Jesus knew that a special touch had occurred, a touch filled with faith. He realized that power had gone out from him. The moment of truth. The woman could have hidden and gone on her way. But her faith propelled her once again. Trembling, she knelt before Jesus and told him her whole story. She was met with no condemnation, but rather love and compassion. Then Jesus spoke words that would change her life forever. "Daughter, your faith has saved you. Go in peace and be healed of your affliction." Mark 5, verse 34. The spiritual meaning of the miracle. This story is not just about a physical healing. It is about the complete restoration of a woman who had been rejected and forgotten by society. Jesus not only healed her body, but also restored her dignity, identity, and fellowship. Furthermore, this passage teaches us that true faith moves the heart of God. The woman did not need a big speech or a special ceremony. A simple touch, accompanied by sincere faith, was enough to transform her life. Application for today. How many times have we felt like this woman? We may not have faced the same illness, but we have all experienced moments of pain, rejection, and despair. However, this story teaches us that we are never beyond the reach of Jesus' love and power. Today, we can still touch Jesus by faith. When we approach him with a sincere heart, seeking his presence, he hears us, sees us, and restores us. The impact of the miracle on the woman's life. After receiving the healing, the woman's life changed completely. We can imagine that she returned home full of joy and gratitude, telling everyone about the miracle she had experienced. The shame that had accompanied her for years was replaced by honor and freedom. Jesus' healing was not just a physical event, but a rebirth. Before, she was an outcast, without hope. Now, she was a living witness to the power of God. Perhaps she became one of the many followers of Christ, sharing her story and encouraging others to seek the Master. The power of the touch of faith. The story of the woman with the issue of blood teaches us that a simple touch, when moved by faith, can change everything. While many were close to Jesus and touched him physically, only this woman had a touch that drew power from him. This teaches us that it is not enough to just be close to God. We must connect to him with true faith. We often find ourselves in situations where we feel that God is distant. But this passage reminds us that he is accessible, ready to respond to those who seek him with genuine faith. How can we apply this story to our lives? 1. Seek Jesus with true faith. Just as a woman faced obstacles to reach him, we must persevere in our search for him.